Heather McDonald has got the juiciest scoop. When you're on the road, when you're on the go, Juicy Scoop is the show to know. She talks Hollywood tales, her real life Mr. Segment serial data and serial sister. You'll be addicted and addicted fast to the #1 tabloid real life podcast. Listen in, listen up. Woo woo. Heather McDonald, Juicy Scoop.
Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. Well, I have so many exciting things that happened over the weekend that I'm going to get into, hot topics. First, I want to let you guys know that yes, you can watch my fabulous show this Friday night at the MGM Grand at 10 p.m. You can watch it just like you were there if you cannot make it to Vegas from the comfort of your own home after you purchase the digital streaming ticket. You're going to go to heathermcdonald.net and you're going to get it. You can watch it at 10 o'clock that night. If you're in LA, if it's not a convenient time, you can watch it for the next 7 days. It is yours to watch for 7 days. Watch it again. It's going to be so good, so hilarious. And there still are a handful of tickets left. So especially if you're single, there's these like single tickets and you know you will not be lonely when you're in a theater full of 700 other fabulous Juicy Scoopers. So excited for that. And so let's get into what happened this weekend. Kris Jenner had her very lavish 70th birthday party at Jeff Bezos and Lauren's house. We're going to call them Jeff and Lauren Bezos' house. It's apparently a $165 million house out here in the Bel Air, Beverly Hills area. And the theme was 007 James Bond theme. Great theme for a party. Her last party was her 60th. That one I did have the pleasure of going to. It was a Great Gatsby themed party and it was fabulous. However, it's one of my bigger regrets of what I wore to a party because it was a 20s theme. I made the horrible mistake of wearing a black little like page boy wig that was just not flattering because then I put like a headpiece around it and I could have been so much more glamorous. I should have worn my own hair. I should have had like a headpiece with like a feather on one side and a side part. And I should have worn a long beaded dress. I should not have gone with the flapper look. I'll never get that chance again unless you invite me to your Great Gatsby party. But this one was James Bond. And Kris looked amazing. She looked younger than she did 10 years ago. Her face is looking stunning. The photos are stunning. She's wearing a long red dress. However, I wondered when I saw her in red, I said, I wonder if they made that something like don't wear red, or black and white. And then she shows red. That's what Oprah did for her 50th. But Kyle Richards wore red. Other people wore red. Kathy and Paris Hilton were there. Prince Harry and Meghan, they came. She took the night off from doing her TV show and making dried flowers to come to this party. And, he was just like in a tux, which is great. That's the thing. This party is great. A great theme. Both of the themes. Great Gatsby and James Bond, because the men have to wear some type of suit. So they look pretty nice. Though some of these people didn't look that great. But anyway, there was Snoop Dogg. He was all dressed up. Adele, Selma Blair, Justin Bieber, Sarah Paulson, and Naomi Watts from Kim's show, All's Fair, which we'll get into in a minute. Meghan Trainor, Mariah Carey was there. Bill Gates, the Zuckerbergs from Meta were there. It was a lot of billionaires. It was a powerful place to be. Definitely a much more prestigious group of people than the 10 years prior when I had made the list. Anyway, it looked like an amazing party. Of course, there were some people on the internet. Why are you having parties when, the world is in peril and, billionaires shouldn't be having parties like this? Really? Like if you were invited, you wouldn't go? Come on. So they were saying, it's a bad look that some of these people went. I'm sure there were other people that were invited that were big stars, but they were maybe they were performing, maybe they had other plans, maybe they had a wedding. But these were the people, the biggest stars that came. Bruno Mars performed, and apparently the neighbors got a little crotchety, said it was too loud. They didn't like, they didn't like his music, and the cops came. which must have been kind of fun for the cops. There were a couple female cops, and I was like, oh, these girls were like a little bit excited to just be like, can we keep it down? Where's Corey? Can Corey lower the music on Bruno? And so that all went down. As great as All's Fair is doing, and by great, I mean, they are saying that this was the biggest numbers for Hulu with a brand new series. So everyone can see, people can give it 0 on Rotten Tomatoes, or, the critics can pan it, but people are watching it. And I'm one of those people. And the writing is so bad. It is ridiculous. I do fall asleep in it, but then I'm like, all right, let me turn on a little bit more. The cases are like come and go way too quickly. There isn't and then really the story is about Kim having this boyfriend who was an NFL player cheat on her with the receptionist from the law firm, who also happens to live in a gorgeous house in Hollywood that would probably cost at least $5 or $6 million. And so that's strange. But anyway, and this girl, she was going to help study with the bar. She says to her, okay, you need to pass the bar. So my house, flashcards, and a bottle of wine. What? Why are you drinking wine and flashcards? What are you in the 4th grade? Well, that's how Kim studies. And it wasn't enough because unfortunately she did not pass the California bar. It is one of the hardest bars ever. Not to brag, but my sister did pass it on the first try. And now just to remind you, she did not go to traditional law school. She went to this apprentice. What is it? The bar passage rate in California for people who attend law school is just 60 to 70. Kim did not attend law school, and she participated in the law office study program. The program is not very common. It requires a partnership with a lawyer to teach you. You do not attend traditional law school. And then participants from this program pass the bar at a much lower rate. Only between 20 and 30 pass it. But some people have to take it 3 or 4 times. JFK Jr. was very famous. Every time he failed, they would put it on the New York Post that he failed. He had to take it 3 times. She might have to take it 5 times, but it's still going to be less time than if she went through law school. So we'll see what happens. But good for her. I mean, she's been a little busy. She's playing a lawyer on TV. She's selling Skims with pubic hair on it. I mean, she's a mother of 4. What do you want? But she took a nice selfie because it was really freaking hot this weekend in LA, especially in the Valley. And she enjoyed her time by the pool, and she will be just fine. So, but anyway, there's some of the lines in All Is Fair is pretty great. And people are just like, why is Glenn Close in this? I don't know. Why not? So Glenn Close, she has an issue with Sarah Paulson. Sarah Paulson's is mean to everybody, and they're mean to her character. And she's like, Glenn Close says to her, imagine if only your mother had swallowed. Oh my God. And then Sarah Paulson calls Kim Kardashian and is like, how you doing, you cum rag? I was like, who is writing this stuff? But it's campy, and it's like watching Selling Sunset, but it's scripted. It's just a lot of real estate porn, a lot of crazy small outfits, and things are just solved quickly. And that's what happens. So I'm sure they're going to get a second season. It sounds like the girls love working with each other. And then Sarah Paulson allegedly is in final talks to star as Aileen Wuornos. That is the first female serial killer. She was a sex worker who would kill her Johns, her people that she was walking the streets, had a really rough life, and would, guys would pick her up and then she would kill them. And Charlize Theron played her in a major motion picture movie. Right now, there's a documentary on her, and some people felt it was somewhat justified because these guys were awful and she was a prostitute. So anyway, I think she would do a great job. I always find it interesting when there's 3 old stories all coming out at the same time, a doc, a scripted show, something else. It happened with OJ. It's happened with the Menendez. Like, it just all comes at once. And it's so weird. It's like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Did the doc come out after the movie had come out, 15 years ago? And then that gave like Ryan Murphy the idea to do this person again? Or was it always on his list? And all of a sudden he was like, oh my God, they're doing a doc too? Oh, well, at least it's on people's minds and they'll be more interested. I don't think it really hurts. I just think it's weird when that happens in Hollywood. Okay. Denise Richards was granted a permanent restraining order, which is 5 years. So I guess it's never, ever permanent forever, but 5 years is the longest I think that you can get. In California, he is asking for $150,000 a month in spousal support. He said, we had millions of dollars in our accounts before we broke up, and I need this money. I don't work. I closed my wellness center. Remember his weird hippy dippy wellness center, which is where she met him. She was a patient. And I have nothing to live on. They've turned off the water in the rental, in which that landlord is now suing them, $84,000 in back rent. And he's saying she should pay for that. She should pay for his attorneys, which is $10,000. And he should be getting $150,000 a month. So he and his parents and his brother can live like human beings, because right now they are in this Calabasas home that has, that they're not keeping nice, and now that doesn't have water or whatever. This restraining order, however, could complicate his immigration status because he, I guess, is from Canada. I don't know how that would work. They've been married a long time. Maybe he did what, Teresa Giudice's first husband did. And even though he wasn't born here and got married, maybe he never really became a citizen on his own, in which then this stuff wouldn't affect your immigration. So he might be shipped back to Canada along with his parents. And hopefully she will not have to pay him that money. But he said, I helped make her OnlyFans pop. And therefore I'm entitled to half of whatever she makes from that alone. So now I want to get into the book, The Golden Years by Jerry Turner. I was curious because I was seeing all these articles. So yesterday I went to Barnes & Noble and I actually bought it and woke up at 2:30 in the morning and read like 100 pages of it and then had horrible dreams that I was on The Golden Bachelor. But he, in my opinion, is just awful. Some of the things he said, I'm jumping around a little, but he talks about his wife who had diabetes. And he says, when I said I was, into pickleball, it was because I wanted a partner who was healthy and fit, who ate right and took care of herself. My wife, Toni, did not take care of herself, and therefore she passed. And it was just, I don't know. Now, listen, that is just how I'm interpreting it. I'm not saying he didn't love his wife. These are just some of the things that shot out at me. Also, he said, while he was filming The Bachelor, he went and had lunch by himself. And these younger women were eyeing him. And one was really flirting with him. And he couldn't believe that a woman in her 40s would be interested in him. But they must have known that he was the Bachelor because there was so much news around the first Golden Bachelor. And then she went up to him and gave him a piece of paper and said, this is for later. And it was her number. And he goes, and of course I threw it away. Like, why are you sharing that story? But you know what? Then I'm like, well, you are being kind of honest. And the honesty is that you're like a pompous asshole. So then he gets into the girls and he talks about, one person was, I think, Faith. And she talked about, how, one of them, how she dated all these famous people. And he was like, well, I just don't know that she will, would like to have this boring life in Indiana or whatever. And then it gets down to Leslie and Teresa. And he was like, I was really into Leslie, but I just felt, Teresa had told me how much she loved me and that she would do the life I wanted. And she said that she would quit her job in finance so that we could travel and be together. And like I said, I have not finished the book, but from everything that I've seen in news reports and whatnot, he says that, that she didn't want to quit her job and that they had very different schedules. And then she said that she's like, I have to defend myself. So she went on a podcast and she said, there were some very strange things about him. He also says in the book that he has to have 9 hours of sleep a night. And he likes to go to bed between 9 and 9:30. So he was like, I'd like to go to bed at 7:30 because I have to get up early in the morning. And so let's go to bed together. And she's like, okay. But she didn't really go to bed till like 11. So after a couple hours, she just could not fall asleep. So she got out of the bed and she was like in the other room doing something. And he gets up and he's screaming at her like, you're a liar. You're a liar. You said you were going to sleep in the bed with me and you're a liar. Now listen, this is her account, but if he's going to talk shit about her, he said that he found out that she read a book on how to win and that he felt like he was tricked and manipulated. And it's just like, she just seems like such a timid girl. And I think that they were just a horrible match. I think so anyway, now he has a new fiance who's only like 58 and she slid in his DMs and they're like on talk shows and he's like, yeah, she slid in my DMs and she wrote him like, oh, I don't live too far from you. And I would be terrified if she was my friend and she was marrying him. I think look, and he's like, I always want to be polite when I'm a celebrity now. When people come up to me, I always want to take a photo and da-da-da. All of that is true. All of it's true. And so he is being truthful about his life now. And he obviously loves the fame and he talked about seeing himself on billboards and, seeing commercials and how much he liked seeing himself. And then he would sort of say, I talked slowly because I wanted to make sure I was saying the right thing. He also criticizes Teresa, saying that she was pretty boring and not great conversations. I don't know why they decided to get married. I haven't gotten to that part. I assume that maybe there was some type of financial gain besides the show paying for it. But she got out. He's already engaged to somebody else. His whole thing was that he was with his high school sweetheart for all these years. But then there were stories that he, had somebody else. It wasn't this thing where this is the first time I've dated since she passed. It doesn't seem like that was totally true. I don't know, but it's pretty crazy. And then she also said that he made a joke or acted, but it wasn't a joke. He said, see that shed up there? That's where I'm going to cut up your body and leave it there or something when I murder you. And she's like, I didn't think at the time I should be afraid, but he didn't really laugh about it after. And I was like, reading this book, he actually, I think, meant it when he said it. I think he hated you and was just so pissed. He feels tricked. He's like, I shouldn't have married her. She manipulated me into thinking that she loved me that much and would give me everything I want when she didn't. I mean, it's off. He comes off so bad. And now I really kind of want to finish it and do a second report on it. There is nothing like having good hair and feeling like your hair is fresh and healthy and growing. And let me tell you, if you're not feeling that, you need to start by using Nutrafol. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand trusted by over 1.5 million people. Nutrafol is the first and only hair growth supplement to be NSF certified for sport testing against 290 plus athletic banned substances, toxicology reviews, ingredient testing, label verification, and annual manufacturing facility audits to ensure FDA requirements are met. See thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our Juicy Scoop listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code Juicy Scoop. Find out why Nutrafol is the best-selling hair growth supplement brand at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code JuicyScoop. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code JuicyScoop. I love Nutrafol, and I know you will too. Listen, I know we're all busy, but we always want to eat better. But we want it to be delicious too, right? That's why I love Hungry Root, because Hungry Root helps you eat well and also reach your diet and health goals. So whether you're gluten-free, dairy-free, high protein, focused on gut health, or anything else, take a quick quiz at their Smart Cart technology recommends recipes and ingredients tailored to your tastes and needs. Makes it so easy. And now with it being the busiest time of the year, I find there's even less time and available brain power to try to plan meals, shop for them, all of it. Hungry Root not only helps you save up money for gifts by cutting down on food waste, but it can also save you a trip out in the cold to the grocery store by delivering all you need right to your door each week. I recently made and thoroughly enjoyed their garlic chicken and vegetable skillet. It was delicious. It was fresh. It was easy. And I got to cook it myself, which I really actually enjoyed that. Take advantage of this exclusive offer. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/juicyscoop and use code JuicyScoop. That's hungryroot.com/juicyscoop, code JuicyScoop, to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. This was from a while ago, and it was Venus Williams was mistaken for Naomi at the CFDA Fashion Awards. And she is like the new spokesperson. I think it's her that's the spokesperson for GLP-1s. And just good for her. I mean, being mistaken for like a supermodel, good for her. That's all I can say. Okay, let's get into Real Housewives of OC. The reunion happened, the first one. I watched it on Peacock. That's where they have all the F-bombs and everything. And it was really awful. Like, Tamra was really coming at Shannon, and then Gretchen at the end comes out, and they're all wearing pink and red, which is kind of weird. But I mean, she's doing all these faces. She's like, really, Shannon? And Shannon's like, my God, Tamra, what? Why can't I just? Because no one's talking to you, Shannon. No one's talking to you. Just sit on the edge of the end of the couch and shut up. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, and like all this kind of stuff. And you know, the dig is you're on the end of the couch because the more important people will sit on either side of Andy for the season, and the less important people on the chopping block are at the end of the couch. So so it was, let me see, it was Jen on the other side of Andy wearing red, then Emily wearing red, then Shannon wearing red, and then Gretchen joined in pink. It was just weird. And then the other side was Tamra in pink, and then there was, let me see. Yeah, then there was Gina, who was pretty neutral. She's like the one person that I don't think that Tamra's mad at. Heather Dubrow. And Heather Dubrow was like, look at my dress. I got it from Zara. It was $50. And I have to say, it was really boring. I mean, she looks great and anything, but it wasn't that great. For $50, it's good. But I mean, you're on the reunion. You should have stepped it up. Gina's dress was better. And then Katie looked beautiful. So they are, you know, she's just coming off. She's telling her to shut the fuck up and everything, and screaming at her and doing all these faces and like really being like unhinged. Then somebody brings up her daughter, Sydney, and she cried, but in my opinion, there weren't tears. I mean, I'm sure she loves her daughter, but I did not see like real tears. And then they had a watch party to watch the reunion. And I was like, all these people, you know, people went, and it was Tamra and it was Katie. They put it on. Then they had Sheena Shea's ex-husband, DJ Mike Shea, be the DJ, because, you know, they said that it was Sheena Shea who made up the story about Gretchen saying that she was drugged by Tamra, and it was not Gretchen who said it to, or she said it. I still don't even know what Katie's saying, but Katie always said she didn't say it. She didn't say it to keep me unique, whatever. That it's all Sheena's fault. So they invited the ex-husband to DJ, and then like Joe and Alexis Polina were there, and then Vicki came, and now Vicki and she have made up. For the last year and a half, they've hated each other since the Tres Amigas had stopped doing their live show. She went and did a show with Shannon. But then on the reunion, Tamra said, I don't know why that you care that Katie like filmed you having, spazzing out at the photo shoot when you recorded Shannon and her boyfriend fighting. And Shannon recorded Vicki and her boyfriend fighting. That's what Tamra said. And she's like, what? Yes, maybe I did, but that was a long time ago. And it was because I was concerned. And so I filmed it and then I deleted it. Well, let me just tell you, I heard about that 2 years ago. And I'm not going to say who I heard it from, but I believe she, after her DUI, was staying with Vicki and Vicki's boyfriend, and they were arguing, and she took her phone and recorded it. And obviously, she must have told Tamra that. And then Tamra probably told a few other people. And then somehow it got back to me. So I just want to say, like, I just can't believe that these women were ever the Tres Amigas. Like, the three of them are just horrible. So, I mean, but anyway, so now Tamra and Vicki are back together. They got a little cute coffee ad that they did for Instagram. And people are like, oh my God, they made up. That's great. And, and Tamra saying, I want her back on the show. It's the 20-year anniversary. She should be on it. So what I've been saying all along, it is absolutely Tamra's dream. And who knows what might happen to have, I believe she wants Shannon off the show, Emily off the show, Jen off the show, and Gretchen off the show. That literally the whole side, the other side of the couch. Her couch side, she's fine with. She's fine with Heather staying. She's probably fine with Gina staying because Gina's done really nothing wrong to her. And then she wants to bring in like Vicki and Alexis and I don't know what's going to happen. But after the reunion, she was really getting a lot of people saying like she was just lashing out and was so mean to Shannon, like mocking Shannon, telling her to shut the fuck up and everything. But then Tamra got a very, very horrible DM from this woman who wrote her 3 different DMs saying, I hope you end your life. I hope you reconsider it and actually go through with it. And you're so awful. And that she's ruined the franchise, all these other things. And Tamra was very smart. She screen grabbed that. The woman's name is there and her face and blasted it. And then a lot of people picked it up. And she works in with like substance abuse, like a hospital for, mental health and substance abuse. They reached her. People went after her job. She has since been let go. She took down all her socials. And I really say good for Tamra for doing that. Also, it was kind of perfect timing because now people are like off the getting mad at Tamra situation because they feel so bad that this is what these women have to deal with, which is what I've been saying. The social media is horrible. And I'm like, this same woman, if she, had a ticket to BravoCon, I don't think she's going now, but if she had a ticket to BravoCon, she'd probably run right up to Tamra if she could and ask for a photo. Like, I don't understand these kind of like unhinged kind of fans that get so involved. Listen, it is a job. Tamra, the show is about older women and their friendships, but none of these people are friends. Let's be honest. Is it entertaining? Is it juicy to talk about? Yes. But you cannot tell me that Tamra and Vicki now can trust each other. When I went to ChatGPT and I'm like, what has Tamra publicly said about Vicki? And they gave me all these things. And what has Vicki said about Tamra? And Vicki has talked about her that she called her a bad mother. Vicki said she was a liar manipulator. Vicki said she was a pot stirrer. Vicki said Tamra was a bad friend to her and Shannon Bedore. She said that she's hypocritical. She's classless and vile behavior. She talked about Tamra's son. Then Judge has called Vicki an effing liar, referred to her as that bitch is dead to me. She insulted her relationships with her boyfriends, of course, with Brooks, but she was right about that. She also mocked her podcasting efforts, calling it a lame podcast. She called, she made fun of her that she got traitors and Vicki didn't. She shaded her reduced role on Real Housewives of OC. But anyway, when you get a Instagram ad to come and film a short reel, I guess that's worth it. I guess that's worth putting it all behind and especially getting back on the show. It's the same reason I think Teresa is like kind of saying I'd be open to talk to my brother and Melissa again, because you have to get along with the people in order to have the job. And I think Tamra would argue I was trying to make up with Shannon throughout the season so that she could stay on the show and we could like have our fun moments and we could both keep working. And Shannon was actually acting like a real woman who'd been screwed over by a friend and been like, yeah, I'm not that trusting. So it's all interesting, but we have got 2 more episodes and we'll see what happens with what goes on next season. If they all come back, if Alex Baskin pulls a Vanderpump Rules and has a bunch of new, younger women, maybe it doesn't have to be in the OC. I don't know. I think it'll just continue on and we'll see them all just come back. But a lot of people did not like this season with the fighting and everything. But I don't know. I don't know that the ratings really suffered. So we'll see. Of course, there was all the stuff that went on about these tweets and liking posts and whatever with Gretchen. We're going to find more out about what the excuse is for that. However, also over the weekend, Travis Kelce's ex, Kayla Nicole, she deactivated her ex account because somebody pulled up all of these tweets that she had written, not just liked or reposted, she'd written them. I read through them. They are from 2010, but it wasn't like she was a teenager in 2010. Actually, can you look up how old Kayla Nicole is? She was dating him, Travis, at that time, on and off for like 12 years. They were dating. They're really bad. It's horrible language. How old is she? 34. So 15 years ago, she was 19, right? Yeah. It's kind of young. It's kind of young. But they're really bad. She goes after every ethnicity, Asians, Indians, Buddhism. She uses the N-word. She uses the FAG word. They're homophobic. They're like, she's like fighting with people. She's like very angry in these tweets back and forth. And the original person that kind of collected them and put them out was some type of Taylor Swift fan. But I'm like, I don't think you're doing anybody any favor reminding people that Taylor's now fiance was involved with someone that had this much hate. But again, it was 15 years ago. Doesn't mean she feels that way. I'm sure 15 years ago, she wasn't thinking how this would like last forever. She's just like drunk and probably fighting back with somebody. But it's pretty shocking, the stuff that she said. Also, crazy thing also happened in the last few days. So this account, Bravo Boo, was the first person to post this video of Teresa's husband, Louie. He's wearing a hoodie and sunglasses, and the background is one that people have looked into, and it is a house that he did videos in before, And it's like a house he had from like 8 years ago, 6 or 8 years ago. And it's a video that he's obviously directing towards a girlfriend at the time. And it's horrible. Like it's threatening. It's awful. It's horrible language. It's like, I would take, if it wasn't illegal, I'd take my 9-iron and come over to your house, and my kids are crying at night. It's very weird. So right when it came out, I was like, wow, I mean, he's wearing a hoodie and sunglasses. I immediately thought he's going to say it's AI. He's going to say, this isn't me. This is some other person. They put, that they went in and typed in what's Louie's voice like and put it to this and put it out there to make me look bad. And that's one good thing about AI is like, you can say now it wasn't me. That wasn't me in the video, but there's ways to check to make sure if that's true or not. And Louie is saying, he said to Up and Adam, reached out to him, it's AI. But from what I've seen these other creators do, like Chrissy Balls, it was actually used in a court filing with one of his exes, allegedly, as evidence of like their relationship. So I don't know how much, what it really matters. It was many years ago. Maybe that's why he then went to that men's retreat and changed his ways for good, then fell in love with Teresa, and they've been together a long time now. Who knows? But they're also could just like ignore it, but it's out there, and it's pretty disturbing. And so I wonder if, he'll be coming to BravoCon or not. Maybe she'll just come alone, or they'll just ignore it and they just stick with their guns. It was AI. It wasn't me. And you can't, who cares? Because it doesn't seem like that many people are like freaking out about it, because maybe they're not on TV right now. It'd probably be a bigger deal if it was airing right now. But I mean, if they are going to film, this is going to be one of those things that's going to probably have to be brought up, because just like they bring up all these other things that come out in social media, why wouldn't they bring up this? So they're saying it's AI, and other people have gone through and done the research, say, no, it definitely is not. It definitely was him. And this is something that he sent to an ex and then was anonymously sent to, this Instagram account, Bravo Boo. So it's kind of scary. Okay. Also, Nikki Glaser did SNL. She got to host it, and she's a hilarious comedian. And a lot of the sketches were fun. She did a good job. The monologue of her stand-up is getting a lot of heat because she did a whole bit about taking a shower with her 4-year-old nephew and asking her sister, like, what if all of a sudden I do take a shower in the shower and I look down and I'm suddenly attracted to my nephew? I mean, maybe that's how this stuff gets started, was kind of the whole, and then she would like make light of like, I never thought I would like pickleball, but now I like pickleball or whatever. So it could be making light of it. And, that's the thing. That's kind of her style. She's done very edgy stuff for a long time. But this being, this very upsetting subject, people just thought there was nothing funny about it. The audience was laughing. They weren't like rolling in the aisles, but she was doing like straight stand-up, which normally, because she's a stand-up, it was like obviously like from her act, or she'd been working on it. I think she wanted to do the edgier stuff because she doesn't want to be told what she can't do. And obviously she's, isn't one. But people could argue, well, by making light of it, you're normalizing it. I mean, again, you could turn off your TV. You don't have to watch it. You don't have to go to her concerts or her stand-up, a comedy concert. You don't have to go to it. But people were asking what I thought being a stand-up. And yeah, I have edgy stuff in my act too, that's jokes. And if you were going to pick it apart or analyze it, you'd be like, there's nothing funny about that. That's stand-up. So I think she's a really talented stand-up, and I think she chose to do what she wanted to do. And she didn't want to, I guess, censor the bit that she wanted. I'm curious if her contract had something like, providing I don't say bad language, I can say whatever I want in the monologue. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. I don't know how it works with stand-ups doing the monologue, which is like straight from their stand-up. But I remember it was like Dave Chappelle has done really edgy things, controversial things, I think when he was on SNL once. I don't know. She's not the first that has come out and done like, wow, that's not your typical bit. That's not a grinder or a Tinder joke. That's not, a dating joke or your parents do this and that. But again, it got people talking, and maybe that was the whole goal. There were some funny sketches in it that I saw, though, so good for her. Okay. Sydney Sweeney did this movie called Christie, and it came out, and it was very low at the box office. Once again, I don't know anyone who's actually going to the movie theater. So this was an actual release at a movie theater, and very few people went. It might be very different once it's like on the streamers. Maybe people then will like love it and go to see it. I just don't think people are going to see it. So I wanted to see, what is it about? So we looked it up. What is this woman, Christie? Well, she was like the first female professional boxer. And so then I read that Sydney's like, I don't care that nobody went to go to see it. It's the art. I loved playing her story. She's so brave. I need to tell her story. So I'm like, what was she so brave about? I'm like, was she abused or something? And so we looked up. Yes, she had an abusive husband who was also her trainer. So he trained her in boxing, but he also beat her up and tried to kill her, stabbing her. And he's doing 25 to life or something. So then that all happened in 2012. So then I said to myself, and out loud, I said, if she's with anyone now, she's got to be with a woman. Like, I don't understand how you could be a female boxer, be married to a man who's your trainer, and he still was beating you up. Like, there's no way you're going to have another love affair with a man. Just forget it. Like, and sure enough, she is. She's married to a woman. And the woman was another female boxer that she used to fight in the ring when she was married to her abusive husband. Then he tried to kill her. He went to prison. And so I'm like, yeah, this is a juicy ass story. Yeah, this is pretty good. I don't care enough to go to a movie theater, but when it comes out, I will watch it. And, she's a very sexy, very pretty woman, Sydney Sweeney, a unique look, big natural titties, sexy body. She gained a lot of weight for this. She uglied herself up, as Kris said, with her hair and everything. And I think it was a good move that she has this under her belt of showing that she doesn't always have to be sexy. So it didn't take long for her to do the ugly role like Charlize did with Aileen, the female serial killer. And it's, I always kind of think it's sort of like, must be kind of an interesting thing to just like completely just not care and go that route of like looking that ugly, gaining weight, the whole thing, doing it. Guys, holidays are coming and you're busier than ever. And there's nothing worse than having an uncomfortable bra where the minute you get in your house, you're just like, oh, get this uncomfortable thing off of me. Well, that doesn't have to happen when you are using and wearing Honeylove. With Honeylove, you'll never experience that again. Honeylove's best-selling crossover bra is so comfortable, it'll be sure to be your new go-to. This bra gives all the support of traditional bras without using any underwire. This is the one bra that you'll actually enjoy wearing and won't want to take off. Honeylove recently launched their new Cloud Embrace bra, which sold out in days. It's a modern wireless t-shirt bra, which I love, with sturdy, lightly padded foam cups that feel like a cloud against your skin. It's a wireless bra for people who love underwire. This style is bound to sell out soon, so do not wait to try it. Treat yourself or someone special to the most comfortable and innovative bras on earth this holiday season. Save 20% off site-wide at honeylove.com/juicy. Use our exclusive link to get 20% off. That's honeylove.com/juicy. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Celebrate the season feeling confident and comfortable with Honeylove. O Positive is a women's health company that offer a range of symptom targeting supplements that support women at every stage of life, from our first period to well beyond our last. What is so special about O Positive's products is that they create real, tangible results with ingredients that are backed by clinical studies and shaped by board-certified doctors. URO is a probiotic blend specifically formulated to support vaginal health. They balance a healthy vagina pH, support healthy vagina smell, and maintain healthy vagina flora. So let me share some of their great reviews from real people that are loving their products. I am very happy with this product. I see results in 3 days of taking this. My sex life is amazing now. And not to be gross, but I can't keep my man off my kitty. He said it smells and tastes really good. I mean, this really is saying a lot. This product does everything it says it will. I am just finishing my second month. I have no discharge, no odor, and no taste. This stuff is a game changer. I mean, who can't use a little vaginal love? And that's what I think is so great about O Positive. Take proactive care of your health and head to opositive.com/juicy scoop or enter Juicy Scoop at checkout for 25% off your first purchase. That's opositiv.com/juicy scoop for 25% off. Okay, this is a very weird story that came out. Jeremy Renner, the actor, he also is an author. I just saw his book in the bookstore because he had like a near-death experience in which he kind of has one of the stories of where he like died, went to the other side for a minute and then came back and but he's fine now. And there is he has an accuser named Yi Zhao, and they were working on a project together. And it's very strange. She came out a few days ago saying that, he made a move on her and it wasn't consensual. And then eventually their relationship became consensual, but it was still a power play because he threatened to call immigration on her if she didn't comply, doing everything that he wanted. Then he sent a cease and desist saying, stop talking about this stuff because it's not true. I have text messages to prove that you hit on me, that you talked about, wanting my big thing inside of you and, sexy thing. She said he sent her nudes that she didn't ask for. He said she was sending him nudes. Sounds like they had a relationship and it seems a little murky, but so that all went down. They're both saying you were the aggressor and the other one's saying, no, you were, and doesn't look like they're going to be doing any projects anytime soon. Okay. All Her Fault is a new 6-part series on Peacock. And I started to watch it and it's like every mother's worst nightmare. And this mom, a working mom, has a 5-year-old son, and she meets this woman who is also a mother there. And she gets a text from the woman saying, can we have a play date with your son today? This is my address. Pick him up. And when you're done with work, if I'm not there, my nanny will be there. So she writes back, sure. She goes to this woman's house a couple hours later. And the woman's like, what? I don't have your son. And she goes, this is the address. And she goes, well, why don't you just call the woman? Maybe they're somewhere else. So maybe it's autocorrected. Dude, the number's dead. So then they're like, what? So that's how it starts. Like, what? You didn't check the number. You didn't realize that this wasn't really the woman, because the woman is a mom there. She's like, I never sent you that text. So it gets crazy. I haven't finished watching it. However, getting a weird text or not knowing who you're texting with is very juicy. Also, All Her Fault. Yes. If that happened to me, if I ever lost one of my kids, I always was like, oh my God, it would be all my fault. And at one point the husband's like, why didn't you just check the number? And she's like, what? So, I'm hearing mixed reviews throughout the rest of the season, but I'm liking it so far. And I think I might need to watch it just to see who the hell took this kid. So I had a weird thing happen to me this weekend that I want to share with you. On my phone, I got a call from a 323 number, which is an area code, an LA area code. And the person wrote, "Hey, handsome old man, !" And I'm like, oh my God, this is some, they're probably, I just knew it was a trick. Like I knew this wasn't a wrong number. I knew whoever this was like fishing to see if a guy was on the other end and they could fish him into doing something more. So I was bored on Saturday morning and I'm like, I am going to catfish the catfisher. So I tried to sound like an older rich man. I said, "Hello, forgive me, but I don't have you in my contacts, miss." I thought that made it sound like he was old. "Can you send a photo?" And then the person writes, "Oh, I thought you had my number saved. It's me, Isabel." And I write, "Oh, remind me where we met, beautiful Isabel." So I'm like flirting with her. "I was trying to text Jamie. Is this his number, right?" And I write back, "No, I'm not Jamie, but I am a handsome single man." Because I didn't think if he was old, he wouldn't call himself old, right? So then she writes, or he writes, "I did. Gosh, I'm sorry, handsome man. I thought this was my friend's number. Hope my message didn't bother you," with like praying hands and like a face emoji. I wrote, "Not at all. I'm grateful you didn't criticize me. Thanks for that," emoji face. "By the way, I'm Isabel from Los Angeles. And you are," first of all, I want to say, if you're from LA, you never say, if you're calling someone in LA, you don't go, "I'm from Los Angeles. Are you from Los Angeles?" No, you would say Studio City, Beverly Hills, Century City, Sherman Oaks, whatever, to other Los Angeles people. So I'm like, okay, just imagining this person in like a warehouse in the Philippines. So I go, "I'm in LA too. Century City." I decided to make it sound like rich, like I'm living below Heather Dubrow. "Really? I'm near in Spadina House. What's your name?" I'm like, "Spadina House? What the hell is that?" So I look it up and it's like a historical house that you can tour around Beverly Hills for like $15. So I'm like, oh my God, they're just like looking up like what's near Century City, whatever. So I named myself Charles. "Nice to meet you, handsome Charles. What's up?" And I wrote, "Well, today I'm about to golf at the Riviera Country Club at 12 p.m. Now, Riviera is a very nice country club in the Pacific Palisades. It's still there, fortunately. And it costs about, if you ask AI, it says it costs $250,000 to join, but I think it's more like $500,000 now. "Oh, so you like golf too? I hope we get along well." The language is not good. What she meant to say was, we would get along well. She's a golfer. "Riviera Country Club is in Pacific Palisades. I've been there before." Yeah. Okay, sure. So she's typing away looking. "Anyway, how old are you?" "I'm 36. I might be older than you based on the way you talk." Crying, laughing face. "What?" I said, "I'm 53, but definitely younger at heart and spirit." Then I wrote her again. "I need to hop in the 911 so I can hit some balls before my tea time. We are playing 18, but what are you doing this evening? Can you meet me for drinks?" Because now I'm thinking if she meets me for drinks, she's going to ask that I like Zelle her some money for an outfit. Oh, I have nothing to wear. I didn't know how, like, what kind of scam this was going. And it says, "Oh, it doesn't seem like you're 53 at all, the way you talk to me." Another crying, laughing face. Like, these things don't make any sense. "Sounds like a perfect day for you. I actually have a few things to take care of this evening. So I might not be able to meet, but I'd love to hear how your game goes later." And I wrote back, "I'll let you know if I shoot under 70. Okay. And then she writes, "All right, but I'm not active on this business number. It would be better if you could update me through my personal WhatsApp." Wah, wah. Whenever you hear WhatsApp, fucking run for the hills. Scam a scamalama. And then gave me this number, "Just ping me." And it's like a 213 number on WhatsApp. So then at that point, I screen grabbed it all. And then I was just even scared to be talking to this person. Like somehow they could jump through my phone and steal my money. So I blocked her or him or whatever it was. But, in researching some of this stuff, there really is like a big warehouse of people in some of these places. And they're just sending out texts, just seeing if anyone will start like writing them back. And then probably when she realized that I was a 53-year-old man who belonged to an expensive country club in LA, it was like, oh my God, I've got a whale. I got a whale. And then I think they probably like run up and then like hand it to the next person. And then that next, because there's some of these are the short scam and some are the really long scam. And I was just reading about this woman who was scammed where this guy, met her on the dating app, but they never met in person or talked in person. It was all texting and they never met. But one of the things he would do is he did send her flowers. He did send her money to like buy an outfit. If she was tired from work, she's like, oh, I'm just going to have a bowl of cereal. All of a sudden, Uber Eats would show up at her door. But allegedly, he was just so busy as a widower and lived like 2 hours away. They just could never meet in person. Like, come on. I just don't know how anybody could actually have a relationship with someone that they're not talking to, at least on FaceTime. Like, that is just crazy to me. But anyway, I thought it was pretty juicy. Maybe I should have let it go on longer, but that was enough for me. Okay, Donald Sutherland's family. He's a famous actor, passed away. I believe he's won Oscars. He, according to New York Post, the family is blocking the release of his utterly unpredictable memoir, and the book's publisher is now demanding the return of its hefty $400,000 fee that they gave him up front for writing it. And I was like, I call BS on this story. I'm like, why? First of all, he's dead. So, they can't, I don't think that even if he said something bad about someone, I don't think that person then could sue the estate. I would think that you couldn't because it's a dead man who said it. But it makes you go, well, I want to read it, right? This is some juicy stuff. And of course, if you're not going to have the book released, of course you should give back the $400,000. I personally think this is a fake story that is being fed out there. So then the book will be released and people will be that much more excited to read it because they're like, oh my God, the family didn't want it out. And then everyone will benefit because the more money that this book makes, then the family will benefit as well. That's my personal opinion. Okay. Britney Spears is back. She is twirling around again and dancing and just giving life advice. So the Instagram account is back. And, it's very strange, some of the stuff that she's writing. She's wearing underwear and just boots and a bra and spinning, having her fun. And she wrote, so much has happened this year. It's crazy. I try to live within my means, and the book, Draw the Circle, is an incredible perspective. Get your ballerina shoes, circle and own your boundaries. It's incredibly strict and somewhat of a form of prayer, but with so many endless possibilities in life, it's important to do you and keep it simple. I know there's a confusing side too. The devil is in the details, but we can get to that later. So anyway, I think she's ready to start a podcast. She said she wanted to, and I'm ready to hear the life advice. Move over Mel Robbins and Jay Shetty. It's Britney Spears speaking from the heart. And I'm going to let you, the podcast should definitely be Spinning to My Own Tune. That's what absolutely it should be called. Okay. Blake Lively asked the judge for $161 million in damages in the Justin Baldoni lawsuit. It's still set for March. Now people are saying, wow, there's some things that are coming out that she actually might prevail. She might be able to prove that, people were not happy with working with him on the set. We've heard both sides, but it seems like the world is more team Justin. So we're going to get more into this because I've got Zach Peter on Thursday coming on the show, and he is like an expert in this, and I want to delve into it. And I wonder what kind of evidence she has, and would someone that has been so pro one side ever change their mind when the evidence is truly presented in a court of law? We'll see. Meanwhile, Raven Simone has spoken about her acting grandpa, Bill Cosby. She was on the show. Of course, Bill Cosby's the comedian who was convicted of multiple sexual assaults over decades with women, including drugging them. It was horrible. But she wrote, he has been accused of some horrific things, and that does not excuse, but that's his personal life. I mean, I don't think assaulting people is like your personal life. Like, hey, if your personal life meaning like, hey, I don't really believe that, eating or smoking pot or whatever. Someone could, I don't believe in smoking pot, but that's your personal life. Okay. You can smoke pot. I don't believe in drinking. You can drink. That's your personal life. I don't really think this is your personal life. So personally keep that there, and business wise, know what he did there as well. Like you said, both can live. And I think our culture is right too. Don't do wrong. Don't do wrong personally. You just can't do wrong. I don't even crazy. Some of the comments were like, yeah, Elvis Presley did some crazy shit, but Graceland still exists. And same with the biopic movie about Michael Jackson is coming out. His nephew's playing him. Those accusations of what he did with young boys, they still say he just liked having a companion that was 10. That's all it was. He at that time, he wasn't dating anybody, and he just wanted to show these young boys a really great time. And that's just who he had the most in common with. That's who he would take to premieres and on trips and stuff. Were just different, like 10-year-old boys. And after about a year and a half, then that relationship would end and he'd find another 10-year-old boy to hang out with. So that's, I'm sure that probably won't be touched on in the biopic movie that his nephew's playing him, but maybe it will. People still listen to that music. And I think the fact that the Cosby Show was in syndication and all these actors and writers would make so much money on all of those episodes that they were part of. And once these accusations came to light and he was convicted, they stopped running the Cosby Show. And, that's a lot of residual money that those people will no longer be able to enjoy, including Raven-Symoné. So maybe that's where she's coming from. Like if we're still listening to music of people that have been accused of things that are awful, why can't we enjoy the sitcom of someone who is also awful? I don't know. What do you think? Okay, David Geffen and his ex, they have finally agreed to a divorce settlement in which he will get $50,000 a month, and also David will pay for his rent. This was a 50-year age difference, so maybe that's where the $50,000 a month came from. Anyway, he only gets it for a year, and then that's it because they were married such a little time. But I mean, that is nothing to David Geffen. So this guy I think this guy came out pretty good. Oh, this JetBlue passengers were accused of having sex in front of children on a flight banned from the airline, but the charges have dropped. So I'm like, how were they having sex? And I read it. I still don't understand. I don't understand. It was a BJ and the girl was just like in his lap on a JetBlue flight. Like, I don't know if I assume there was a blanket over. It's so bizarre. I need to know how this even happened because the article does not explain it right. Meanwhile, Massimo, Lori Loughlin's ex-to-be, was spotted out with a 32-year-old girl named Hannah Harrison. I don't know if she's famous or not, but he's 62, she's 32. I can't wait. Oh my God. Can't wait for her to get pregnant and then him to start a whole new life with her. He'll be just thrilled with that, I'm sure. Okay, Selling Sunset is out, and the drama is involved in this weird cocaine story. Remember, were you doing coke in the bathroom? Were you doing coke in the bathroom, Dorit, with your friends when you left me alone with that weird old publicist? I just want to know. There's accusations of coke use. First, They referenced Nicole having a cocaine problem or a drug problem. Then she came back this season swinging, saying that she has caught Amanda Smith, who's also on the show, using it. Mary says she actually knows that Amanda hates coke and doesn't like it. I don't know. I mean, listen, whether you do coke or not, nobody's giving you a listing to their $20 million house. I mean, are you kidding me? I just assume what must happen is they are licensed. So I think the Tiny Twins get the listing, and then they say, and then we'll have one of the pretty girls like co-list it with me. So they'll do an open house. They'll show it if I need it. And then that way your house gets on Selling Sunset in case it doesn't sell quickly. Then it gets all that exposure. And that's how we're going to do it. Because there's just no way that these girls are doing this themselves. But anyway, that's what the conversation, that's what it's all about. And, this could ruin my reputation and this and that. And I just think no one cared if Dorit was doing coke in the bathroom, though she claims she didn't. And I don't think we would really care that these extremely skinny girls walking around in their heels and, G-string bikinis as they hold an open house, if maybe they did a line or two, I don't think we're going to be shocked. I don't think we're going to care. And it's not going to make a difference. This is basically a scripted show too. That's like not even about real estate anymore. Oh, I almost forgot Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Well, the gift just keeps giving. I mean, there are the rumors, the accusations. So Brittany brings up a TikTok of some girls saying that she, her friend's an Uber driver, and Meredith's husband, Seth, was in a car with his mistress, and she sees the video, she shows it, and then, they're sitting there. They did like a zombie party, so they have like these funny, knives coming through their heads and whatnot. And she's like, let me tell you something, Brittany. My husband, Seth, and I have a monogamous relationship. There is no mistress. And just because your boyfriend breaks up with you every chance he gets does not mean that you need to get involved with my marriage. And so there's a lot between Lisa Barlow saying, I'm sorry, but I had a friend who told me that she was making out with Todd and he farted the whole time. I just think this poor guy, Todd, like if they're not talking about his gout dick, they're talking that he can't control his gas, even if he's in a romantic lip lock with a woman who isn't his wife. Like these things just flying out of their mouths does make for a pretty entertaining show. And Mary's just like, I want to know why he was farting. What did he have? I don't know if is farting part of gout. Can someone tell me if that's a side effect of when you have gout, incessant farting that you cannot control? I don't know. It's just like they are all just coming after each other, and they're on this boat, and poor Angie not only was puking on below deck for the first 36 hours, but then on the 37th hour, she her finger got caught in the door to her cabin, and she like cut the tip of it, and the nail was falling off, and it was so painful and broken. And I'm like, God, and now they have to get back on a plane and fly like another 15 hours home. Like this is not worth, a few free drinks on this yacht at all, but very entertaining to watch. And Whitney's sitting there just being like, I don't know. People say that people have affairs. It's all out there. There's TikToks about it, and there's things that just aren't true, but it doesn't seem to matter to Lisa Barlow. She'll say whatever she wants about other people. So, okay, Lisa Barlow. Okay. I also love that they always like do other people's last names and stuff, even though there's only one Lisa on the cast. So fun, you guys. These are the kind of things I really kind of get excited about talking when it's just going to be all like housewives and funny shit that's going to happen this Friday. So remember, you go to heathermcdonald.net. You can Still get a couple spots if you want to come see me in person and be in the room for the fun. If not, and you're home, or even if you're doing BravoCon, but you can't come and you want to see it, you can stream it from wherever for 7 days. So you go to heathermcdonald.net and click on there and get the digital ticket as well. All right. Thanks, you guys. Love you. Bye.